Hi, welcome back. We're Piet and Grada from the Purple House Wellness Center in Fourth in Tasmania. And every week we share something, a topic that is helpful for you, and we give you some health tips, or we tell you about some of experiences that we've had during the week. And this week we want to focus again on parasites and worms, because in Australia it's the start of the winter. And during winter time, our immune system often really struggles. It has to work extra hard to keep it warm and fit and healthy. And just lately, of course, we've noticed how there are many people who are getting the flu and the sniffles or belly aches, nausea, and so on. So whether it's to do with like the flu, the common flu or a cold, or something as serious as all autoimmune diseases or cancer, we need to look at the base root cause, and we don't have to look far. We actually don't have to look further than parasites to start with, because we get the information from the World Health Organization, right? And the World Health Organization claims that 9 out of 10 people has parasites. In North America, it's 85% of the population. That would be the same in Australia. And it's actually true, because when we look at our clients' health and well-being, we run several tests, and we look at the live blood or the dried blood, we often see evidence of parasites. And then when people do a worm cleanse or a parasite cleanse, they immediately feel better. So the short story that we're making here is we're making a case that you, if you're listening, 9 out of 10 chances that you have parasites, and that some of your issues in your tissues, or lack of energy, or like brittle hair or nails, or tiredness and so on, is caused by parasites. There are millions upon trillions of different parasites apparently, and what all parasites have in common is that they steal your energy, they steal your nutrition, they love good food, they love all the minerals and the vitamins. And so if you have parasites in your body, you can eat really, really well, you can have like a wonderful diet and lifestyle, but you're sharing it with your parasites, so the cells in your body are still not getting what they need. And on top of that, parasites eat you, and they're always eating and munching away in your restaurant from a smorgasbord, and they're nice and warm and cushy, and they go to sleep in nice warm tissues. And that can be any tissue. It can even be your brain tissue, your eyes, your gut, not in your spine, your nervous system, everywhere, right? And then they also have to go to the toilet. So they're eating, drinking, sleeping like you do, and then they excrete toxins in your body, and your body, something just happened to the connection. So then your body becomes, it's fine. Oh, sorry. Hang on, something is happening. The heebie-jeebies. We've had gremlins in our system this morning, right? So just bear with us, because the internet has been playing up today for us. Right, so I was saying the toxins that the parasites excrete in your body have to be mopped up by your lymphatic system, and we often become allergic to it. Even if you're not allergic to it though, it still erodes your immune system. And so some of your immune system readings, if you go to the doctor and then you can be tested for an autoimmune disorder, which you probably test positive for, and then all the readings indicate elevated this and that, but it's actually just a lot of the time a reaction to worm toxins. Actually, Pete has an interesting story to tell just recently. Do you want to share with us what happened to one of your clients? Or shall I?
Right.
Yeah.
I had a client recently who came, and his main complaint was that he was getting sick often.
Yeah.
Just sick all the time.
Mm-hmm.
His immune system was
Breaking down.
was non-existent. And I looked at his live and dried blood and ran a few tests, and among other things, toxins from parasites were evident in his blood,
In his testing.
and he had to do a parasite cleanse. And 4 weeks later, he came back, and there was no evidence of parasites in the blood tests that I do, the live and dried, and he hadn't been sick in all those 4 weeks. So that was quite amazing.
very inspiring.
His immune system had really picked up. And we've had other clients who have had really itchy skin problems, and we've scratched our head trying to think of what could be causing it, but we often come to the conclusion that it's parasites, and after a parasite cleanse, often the skin clears up and the itching goes away.
Well, actually, when Peter said we didn't know what it was, that's about 20 years ago. Because we've known now for 20 years already. We've been in business for 25 years, but like 20 years ago, we realized, well, all these people just have the same thing in common. They have parasites, so they had to do a parasite cleanse, and then their skin cleared up, or at least it cleared up. Sometimes not entirely, but most of the time it actually cleared up entirely. So when people have like itchy skin or skin rashes or skin problems or like circles on their skin or like itchy scalp, you always have to eliminate parasites, because otherwise nothing else works. I remember distinctly one little client that I had, and she was about 10 probably, and she actually used to have the worst headaches that she'd already experienced for most of her life, probably since she was 3. And her headaches were so crippling that she had to go outside whenever she had a headache and put her head, like her forehead, on the cold cement or in the cold grass or somewhere on the cold beach in the cold water, because her headaches were so excruciating. And I also discovered that she had parasites, so we had to do a parasite cleanse first before we could look at anything else. And lo and behold, her headaches were gone. They completely disappeared. So what we find is that when you have parasites that put so much pressure on your immune system, your weakest link will give. So whether you're prone to migraines or prone to lymphatic swelling or belly aches, of course, and bloating, very, very common. That's how you will need to suspect it's probably parasites. And listen to the end, because we actually have some suggestions for you what you can do, all right?
And prevent.
That's right. So over the years, here's another thing that Peter and I, that experience told us. So we've very, very experienced therapists or healers, coaches now with decades and thousands of clients under our belt. So back in the past, people could just use one parasite cleanse remedy. That's probably 20 years ago. That would work. But today it doesn't work the same anymore, because even the parasites have become more resistant and hardier, right? They're very hardy now. So all the experts agree that now you need to take a combination of different things, because it's just not one thing that fixes all anymore. Like back in the days, your grandmother could go to a wormwood bush probably and boil some wormwood tea or camphor or what was it, castor oil and stuff like that. Just one of those things doesn't work anymore. So the system needs way more support than that. So if you suspect something like that's going on for you, please come to us and book in for a session, because it could save your life, right? And in a minute I'll tell you some of the symptoms, but
well, one way to protect yourself from parasites is we consume parasites quite often. We swallow them with our food, with our water, and pick them up everywhere, from our pets, from
supermarket trolleys,
supermarket trolleys. So the hydrochloric acid in our stomach is meant to be the thing that protects us from all those things. It's that strong, or meant to be that strong, that it just dissolves everything. It's
meant to be an acid fire.
Yeah, it dissolves meat, big lumps of meat, and if we swallow a parasite with our food, which we inadvertently do, if that hydrochloric acid isn't strong enough, then they'll survive and go through and take up residence. Yeah. So,
and how prevalent is that? I just want people. It's not a rarity. It's like very common.
If we're under any stress, our stomach doesn't produce hydrochloric acid properly. So we need to be relaxed when we have our food to produce hydrochloric acid. So
That's not
our
possible.
lives are stressful these
Okay,
days.
that's
So
right.
by supplementing with
Proton Plus.
Proton Plus, which has got betaine HCl in, that increases the acid in our stomach.
To healthy levels, yeah.
Yeah, to healthy levels, so we can kill off those things that
Shouldn't be in our bodies.
Yeah, that we should protect ourselves from.
That's better than like hygiene. You know, we know that hygiene is promoted, and of course you need to be clean. But when you use antibacterial hand wash and all that stuff, you're actually also eroding your immune system. And you, like once your immune system is eroded and it's in the gut, your 80% of your immune system is in the gut. Well, parasites also, of course, can have like a free pass into your through your tummy. But what Pete says is so true. And we've done multiple videos on low stomach acid, which is 99% pretty much of everyone who has heartburn or bloating has not enough stomach acid. And that is the key, right? Forget about all the rest. It's not that you have too much, you always have deficiency.
Not enough.
That's right. It's like your body is trying to digest your food on a bed of like slumbering embers, right? And then you take antacids, which is what most people do. They take an antacid and then you kill your fire altogether. That would be like putting water on smoldering embers. So we suggest you do the opposite. You take Proton Plus, you stoke that fire in your tummy so it's nice and warming and healthy. And now you can start to break down your food and you can protect yourself from millions of different worm forms that and parasite forms that are out there. Also, on top of that, parasites always couple with candida. So candida is a fungal thing that overgrows in our tummy.
Normally it's a yeast in our intestines to produce some of the B vitamins. It's kept in its rightful proportions with a good intestinal bacteria that form 80% of our immune system. So keeping our good bacteria at optimum levels, I recommend everyone take a good probiotic every day
Immunosymbiotic.
and a good helping of fermented foods.
Yeah, or spore probiotics, or Synto. These are all like, really, I'm happy and want to celebrate that even though we have lots of things against us in today's world, the supplements are getting better all the time. So these literally are what we call new generation probiotics.
The Synthol has actually got spore forming probiotics in as well. Plus it's got serapeptase, which is a systemic enzyme that will go around and start gobbling up
broken down worms and all sorts
all sorts of things.
Scar tissue from worms and all that stuff. So that's super amazing and super good. I mean, I'm so happy that we have those.
We initially bought it about 15 years ago for a Candida cleanse.
And it still works really well for that tool. You can also just lick some boron or borax to kill Candida, right? So we suggest like multiple things at the same time, and it's not overwhelming. You can look, we have lots of free ebooks on our website, so download some of those ebooks, like anyway, you'll see it, our wellness guide and stuff like that. It contains all this information that we're talking about. So here are some parasite, what are called symptoms, right? Of course, the most obvious one is abdominal pain, that your tummy is bloated and sore and cramps, diarrhea, nausea is one or two, much gas, loose stools like diarrhea or dysentery. Of course, itchiness around your bottom. If your bottom is itchy, it's sure sign. Itchy nose, itchy eyes, and another really sure sign. Tenderness in your tummy, fatigue, headaches, migraines, weight loss, weight gain. Or, of course, if you pass a worm in your stool, that's like a dead giveaway, of course. Forgetfulness, brain fog, and losing your eyesight, like when your eyesight is deteriorating, can be from worms. Depression and anxiety, lots of food intolerances such as gluten intolerance, lactose intolerance, all those. And then teeth grinding is so that's indicative of worms, right? So if you're a mom or dad and your children are grinding their teeth in their sleep, that's a sure sign of worms. So skin rashes, feeling crabby, hormonal upsets, nightmares, allergies, autoimmune disorders, bladder infections, stool, weight loss, weight gain, cancer diagnosis, rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis. And these are some of the indicators. So actually it's pretty much everything. You need to get rid of parasites first. And then sugar cravings as well. And then of course a general unexplained symptoms, like sometimes if you have a low level temperature all the time, that's your body's attempt to get rid of worms as well. Alright, so there is actually a parasite self-test in the article which we'll post below the video.
Quite often medical tests don't pick up parasites or worms at all. I remember an episode when I was nursing one time. A woman was admitted with severe abdominal pain, and I was the one to admit her.
Yeah, short story.
And I gave her a pan to collect a urine specimen to test on admission, and when I collected the pan, it was full of writhing, massive worms that she'd passed.
I know.
And the abdominal pain actually quickly resolved.
Yeah, alright. So here's the thing though, like, just when you never poo out all your worms, right? Because they've laid eggs and they're going to be, it's like a 3 to 6 week cycle. So when you do a worm cleanse, we always recommend you do it for a month to 6 weeks, right? So here's the good news. We're starting with the cheapest remedy of everything, which is diatomaceous earth, food grade. So this is $8 a packet. You have a teaspoon a day every morning in some water or in a smoothie without fail for a whole month to 6 weeks. That's better.
And that'll get rid of the worms within the intestines.
In the digestive tract. Then of course you can have worms that have traveled to different parts of your body, or they're like just absolutely the tiniest microscopic worms. So then we have a really good remedy. It's called worming parasite cleanse, which is homeopathic, right? So it's very, very safe, and that's also made from wormwood, black walnut, and a few other things. It's very popular and it's easy to do. So you just follow the instructions, which I think you take the drops for 3 days, and then you have a bit of a spell, and then you take it more. That really activates your immune system to recognize where the worms are, and that your own immune system, of course, also can detect the worms. And then Parasite is super, super potent and strong. Unfortunately though, recently it's just doubled in price. We don't know why, Happy. So it's not cheap. It's $75. It used to be like $50.
It will last a few parasite cleanses. Yeah.
Well, but if you do it for a month, and you probably need one per person if you go on a full-on parasite cleanse, right, for 6 weeks. You need to, and this is guaranteed to pretty much kill all parasites, as well as when we say do all the rest as well that we just suggested, boost your stomach acid. So then you have to look at rebuilding your body. Now you can do it at the same time. You don't wait for the worms to die.
Because I've been taking your nutrients.
That's right. They've left you depleted. Yeah. So you have the worm. You choose one of these worm cleansers. Then you also have one of the probiotics that we just suggested. And at the same time, if you're an adult, you can take Activated, which is a full spectrum vitamin mineral of the highest, class, I would say. I haven't found anything like this in Australia, so we import it from the US. And I have this myself. So this will restore your energy levels, your nutrients, and your minerals. And then for children, these are really...
For children, we've got Mighty Mims. Similar type of thing, but for children.
Yeah. So that will restore healthy nutrient levels, so build some credit in your bank account again. Can they invade lung tissue? Yes, they can invade any tissue, right? Absolutely. They can just go anywhere, unfortunately. And it's not always detected medically speaking. So like if you have a medical test and it comes back all clear, it's no guarantee that it's all clear at all. Because the medical world sees worms as a third world country disease and it's not recognized as a problem here, but it's actually a huge problem and more and more so. So you can contact us or send us a private message if you have real concerns, and we can suggest a few other things. But these things that we just suggested are so good for everyone. Also, the wormwood herb, the actual wormwood herb, it was actually banned, I don't know, as a supplement probably 15 years ago, because it's really, really good, right? So wormwood, the actual herbal remedy wormwood, also helps our bodies to overcome cancer, because the wormwood likes to go to, say, worms that are full of iron, because remember, worms steal your iron and your minerals, and sometimes cancer cells also have really, really high iron levels. So wormwood has an affinity for tissues that are high in iron, and so it binds with it and it dissolves it, and problem solved, right? That's why wormwood is so good. And we used to sell a lot of wormwood, but unfortunately we have to be now really, really careful.
But it is in Parasite, which
and that's probably the reason why it's gonna suddenly doubled in price, which is nothing, we can't really do anything about it. This one also has wormwood in it as well. And Pete, you found an interesting little tidbit, didn't you? A historical fact, which made us laugh, by the way. So do you want to read it out?
What do Edgar Degas, Vincent van Gogh and Pablo Picasso all have in common, apart from their incredible painting abilities? And the answer was, these three artists all shared a love of absinthe, which is a botanical spirit made from wormwood, anise and fennel.
Yeah, aniseed and fennel are very soothing for your body. And look, keep your eyes out along the highway.
Those fellas probably would have been free of parasites as well.
Yeah, that's right. So they could be high achievers.
Help their artistic abilities.
Because they used to make top shelf spirits with a wormwood mixture or a bitter. They needed the bitterness of that herb, but it probably kept people healthy. Then the fennel and the anise are sweet, so there's bitter and herb. Sweet put together, but actually ideal mixture for your intestines. I was just going to say, if you if you travel along the highway, you see, in Tasmania anyway, you see lots of wild fennel, which is just actually domestic fennel plants that grow along the highway. And in my opinion, that's Mother Nature reaching out to us, all us little people in our cars, eating in the car, and our digestive system is stressed. And we all need fennel. If you could just stop your car and pick some fennel and chew on it, all your belly aches dissolve as well.
Often what grows in our vicinity and around our house is what we need, because nature's providing it for us.
Mother Nature doesn't like a void or a deficiency, so she fills the void and gives us exactly what we need. Anyway, that's for another story. I have lots of stories like that. But for now, we just want you to eyes wide open, right? If you have any issues, and lots of people are getting sick around you because it's winter time in Tasmania, or any change of season, people get sick, do the worm parasite self-help check that will be attached in this article. It might take us a day to post it, but it will be there anyway tomorrow.
Come and see us and have a look at your live and dried blood. And that'll see things as well.
Yeah. Get some clarity. There will be an email. If you're not on our email list, please join our email list, and you get a fresh email every week. All our products are online, by the way, so the online shop is always open. So just please check that out on our website, the Purple House. What is it? purplehousenaturaltherapies.com.au. Thank you so much for listening and giving us feedback, and hope that you have a wonderful holiday today, wherever you are, and rest and relax. And we look forward to seeing you again.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye.